Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the where I started at this. I currently look like this, and we are in the last week of the cut. So subscribe to follow along, I guess, and comment what you think the final weigh-in will be. It's the last week. It's Monday. There was no videos last week. Sorry about that. Basically, I have this one, first and foremost. What? Dog sitting Kona. And I also joined the interview team at work, and we were doing interviews all week. So we do the interviews during the walks. I wasn't able to record anything on the walks, and my days were so hectic that I didn't record anything after the walks. And then I fell behind on the videos, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, so last week was a miss. The lightest weigh-in was on Friday at 182.2, I think, something like that. And so we really didn't lose very much last week because the previous week was 182.8. But I also forgot about this too. I didn't have my morning walk or my afternoon walk, so I was getting like 12,000 steps sometimes, which is kind of a bummer. So really, like, activity went down. It was not the week. But this is the final week, and we're gonna finish as strong as possible. We're about to do a weigh-in and a physique check to see where we're starting. I went camping this weekend, and I sure did eat a lot because it's camping and that's what you do. So I'm expecting this weigh-in to be a bit up, potentially somewhere around 190. I ate a lot, and it definitely hasn't worked its way through, and it was all carbs, hot dogs, ramen, beer, all the things you have when you're camping. Lots of sodium too, so there's probably a good bit of water retention as well to consider. So, and upwards of 190, hopefully less, but upwards of 190. So we're gonna do a weigh-in and a physique check. And then we're going to do a 3-day fast for the final week. We're not having food until Thursday evening. And we're going to see if we can break 180. That's the goal. But let's do a weigh-in, see what we're looking like, and get to walking. Come on, calibrate. Okay, calibrated. Whoa. 188.4, huh? All right, 188.4 after this weekend. Not quite as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but obviously not great. But whatever, it's the final week. There's no point really being upset about it. We're just gonna do what we can this week and see where we end up. One thing that I was talking about last week in the little bits that I did record that I ended up not posting, which also, by the way, in my VLO app, whatever it is that I use to edit videos, it wouldn't like pull up the video. Like, it's when you add the clips, it gives you like a percentage bar and it just wouldn't move. That's another reason why I kind of stopped doing them, because I got really bored. I'm hoping that it is fixed itself by now. Anyways, but while I was talking about last week that I didn't get to share, was that basically the final goal for this week is just to break 180, or hit 180, I should say. Breaking it would be just cool, but because this week actually marks 5 months exactly on the dot of the cut. And if we hit 180, starting at 220, that will have been 40 pounds in 5 months. And this leg just never really has the same definition as this one. See this one? Some decent separation. And there's just not in this one. Very interesting. But, yeah. So, 5 months exactly. Also, we hit legs this morning. 5 months exactly this week. So if we get to 180, that'll be 40 pounds in 5 months. Originally, I wanted to get 50 pounds in 5 months, but if you've been watching, you know that over the weekends, I've been not worrying about it. And we've been just enjoying ourselves, living life, doing stuff. And you can't, some people can. I can't really do both. The last time I did the cut, that I got down to 165, I was living with my brother, pretty much just working. Wasn't really going out doing much. I did a few times, and there was some holidays and some birthdays and stuff in there, but for the most part, I could really 100% focus all on training and dieting. This time around, haven't quite been able to do that, and still lost 40 pounds in 5 months. So I'm actually satisfied if we get to 180, which I think we will. So we're 188.4 this morning. I still have some stuff to work through the system. I also, obviously, a lot of carbs and sodium, so I'm a little waterlogged, and all that jazz. And we're going to do 3 days fasted instead of 2 or 1. So our first meal will be Thursday in the PM. So we'll be doing like 72 plus 12, basically. So what is that? 84 hours fasted. No. Actually, because I had dinner last night, that's 4 full days in between meals, essentially, which will be 86 hours fasted. So 86 hours fasted between this meal, last night's meal, and my next meal. And we also have 4 walks all this week, except for Friday. And I just lied, and I forgot about something. On Wednesday, I'm actually not going to work, and I'm hopefully going to go check out another car. So at least today and tomorrow is 4 walks. Wednesday will be no walks, but I'll try to get moving around as much as I can. Thursday will be 4 walks, and then we'll be done with the fast by then. So, it's a confusing last week, but it's the last week that we can make happen. We're 188.4. 3 days fasted, basically 4 days fasted, with lots of steps. I think we can get it. I think by Friday, maybe Saturday, to be realistic. No, Friday. Friday, we'll hit 180. That's the goal. And then we'll be done. So, yeah, let's get to walking and get this week started. Okay, walk number 1 has begun. 104 today, thankfully. And I'm pretty sure we don't have any more interviews this week. So I should be able to record a little bit on each one, or at least a little wrap up afterwards, as long as I don't have a surprise walk partner. But anyways, yeah, we're in the final week. And we're doing a 3-day fast to finish it off. So wish me luck. It's gonna be a little rough, for sure. We got up and hit legs this morning. I actually kept it a little chill. I went up to 275 into 3 sets of 3, just because I'm not going to be eating anything, and I don't really want to be super sore on top of being super fatigued and all that. So we kept it chill, and I'm going to keeping it chill for the lifts for this week. Chest tomorrow, back the next day. Probably going to just do what I can, couple reps of whatever, and then call it good. This is peak week, as they say, sort of. And then we'll be done. And I'm pretty excited. The only real goal afterwards is, I should probably do a degree of reverse dieting, just because, we've been dieting for so long. But honestly, since we've been taking the weekends off essentially every weekend since the start, I don't know if I'll need to reverse diet for at least a very long, because I don't think my metabolism has been quite as shot as it was in the past. So I think if I just keep consumption of food relatively chill, just keep buying high protein, low calorie stuff, and not eating like a fat kid at night, and that should be good. So that's really the only plan for after the cut and maintenance and all that, and then just getting into like more bodybuilding, higher volume training to kind of fill back out, and then just maintain for a little bit. You know, obviously I would like to get a little bit stronger over the next few months, but I don't want to put a particular goal, because then I feel like I'll get lost in the sauce again, eat too much, risk reversing the work that I have put in, and I just don't want to do that. So yeah, we're just going to be trying to be a little more smooth of a transition and stay healthy is really the only mindset. We'll see how it goes, but I'm optimistic and feeling positive, so we're just gonna have to see. But anyways, I'm getting to the off-leash area, so I'm gonna go. I'll see you at walk 2. Okay, walk number 2 complete. We did actually have a walk partner. I forgot that my after work walk client had their dog sat by my coworker, and so they had my keys, so I had to get my keys back, and so we just walked together. So, but it was a good walk, good amount of steps, and yeah, honestly, I didn't really think about the walk at all because we were just talking the whole time. But if I were to think of any one thing for this little wrap up, it would be that I am a little tired. Anyways, we're gonna get doing this mid-route drop-offs and pickups, and then we're gonna start walk number 3. See you there. Alrighty, walk number 3 is underway. I have a headache, and I don't think that it's a typical fasting headache of, like, you know, the food addiction kicking in. I don't think it's dehydration. Had a good amount of sodium and a lot of water over the weekend. Well, I'm kind of thinking that it is because I'm like a little bit tired and drained. I got a bit of a headache. I think I got a little bit of that, you know, sun sickness or whatever you call it, because we did spend pretty much most of the day in like 80 degrees in the sun, in the water, and then followed by yesterday more time in the sun, and not really in the water, but more time in the sun and high temperatures. And I think it's just a little bit too much, and it's kind of hitting me. I'm pretty used to like the heat itself, and I acclimate pretty well, but you know, being in San Francisco, it's cloudy, it's gray, a lot less sun exposure, even though I'm in the sun all day with my job. Being in like really direct sun, no clothes, you know, I'm not covered up in a sweatshirt, and water too just adds that additional layer. Oogie, get the ball. Adds that additional layer, and I think that's what I'm feeling. So by the end of the night, or by tomorrow morning, I should feel better, but I definitely am feeling it right now. But yeah, and walk number 4. We're almost done with the day. We got about 20 minutes left of this walk, at least. Day one of the final 5 before we call it at whatever the weight ends up being. Definitely still have a headache, still a little tired. Pretty certain that I'm sunsick. So I think the goal for the rest of the day and the night is just hydration and then rest. I'm gonna try to sleep a little earlier tonight. But have our tea with some salt, have probably an emergency or 2 just to, you know, maximize the vitamin intake when I'm not eating any food. And then just rest. I think we'll be good tomorrow. If not, we'll take an Advil in the morning just to manage it a little better. But yeah, a lot of hours in the sun. Sometimes it takes it out of you. But we're at the end of the cut, and I'm not letting anything get in the way. I'm also not buying any popsicles. I don't have any. So Saturday and Sunday is just going to be chicken salad. No popsicles. Saturday, Sunday. See, my brain's really not working. Thursday, Friday. So call it peak week. But yeah, we're going to see. We're at 188.4 this morning. And I'm actually curious what I'm going to weigh at the end of the day today. I'm going to weigh myself again. I've drank a lot of water, but there's always a bit of a drop regardless of that. So we're just gonna have to see. Also peed a lot too, so it's making its way through. But anyways, almost done here. Finish up the day, have our tea. I'll see you at the wrap up. Whew. Day 1 of the fast completed. Feeling better. I got home, I took some Advil, drank an emergency, and just some regular water. And I'm having my tea, and I feel better. We're going to see how tomorrow goes. I might bring Advil with me to work, because it is kind of a bitch to have a headache when you have to focus on keeping animals alive. So that was a little rough, but, you know, other than that, we got through the day. It was actually a pretty good day. So steps for the day, for example, 26,000, boom, fire. The weight didn't decrease as much as I thought it would from the morning to the night. I was 188 point, whatever, 2 or 4 something. I just weighed in after my shower and it was 186.2, which actually is really good for one day, but I was kind of expecting more for some reason. Maybe I'm just have dieting dysmorphia or something. But yeah, but since I'm currently 186.2, tomorrow morning, 180, I mean, below 185 would be sick, but 185 would be, you know, reasonable. But I don't know if we're going to hit 180 by Friday. I don't know if that's really going to happen. We got 26,000 steps a day. I should get roughly the same tomorrow. 25K. Gym, 4 walks. I don't have a walk partner, I don't think, tomorrow at any point. So unless we just run into somebody, it should be all solo walks, and I'll be able to get more steps in. Not going to guarantee, but that's my hope. And then Wednesday is going to be super low in steps comparatively. I don't even know. I'm going to try to run in the morning, I guess, at the gym, but day 3 of the fast, like, my energy is going to be 0. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go through a little walk in the park or something. But at least today and tomorrow, we're going to be getting a ton of steps in, fasted, and then have another day fasted, and then basically another 12 hours fasted. So we'll make something happen. But for 186 now, I don't really know how far this fast is going to carry me. I'm going to assume we're going to end at like 182. And then we're not going to lose 2 more pounds of fat in 2 days. It's just not going to happen. So we're going to just see what we end up getting. And we're going to call it on Friday regardless of what it ends up being. But still excited. We're almost there. I'm going to just push through, see what happens. Maybe we get a really pleasant surprise and we just shed like 6 pounds in 2 days. Maybe. That'd be epic, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see. But yeah, it was a good day. Pretty tired. It's 8:30. Need to go to bed. The sun isn't even down all the way, so that's fun. And I gotta do laundry, so I'm gonna do that. Get some good sleep. Hit some chest tomorrow. And continue on the final week. So see you tomorrow. Love yourselves. Love each other. Be kind. Spread love. And drink some tea because it's good for you. All right. See ya.